win anyway. That is what Marquette is going to have to do today as they take on the number 12 Creighton Bluejays in a big East matchup. As you could say, it is just a great day if you're a Creighton fan right now. Not so much if you're a Marquette fan before the game here on Sorgi Stories. I'm Anthony. My dad will be here soon waiting on him. And Jackson Johnson is with us today. What's up, Jackson?
Oh, it's going pretty good, Anthony. Glad to be on this afternoon's edition of Sorgi Stories. It's an honor.
Yeah. And what I said about win anyway, for those of you who haven't heard, Tyler Kolek out with an oblique injury. He did not travel with the team. And Oso Iguodaro out with an illness as well. So Marquette's two best players both out. And that's, by the way, according to the official Marquette basketball Twitter account. So Marquette's going to have to go with 0 seniors today in the starting lineup, as you're probably looking at Ben Gold, David Joplin, Stevie Mitchell, Cam Jones, and Chase Ross. So a young team playing today as Marquette. I mean, at this point, I know Shaka Smart said don't look ahead to UConn, but at this point, you kind of have to look ahead to UConn.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like they have much of a chance today.
But on the bright side, that means UConn's going to have some trouble because they'll be going to Marquette. And the thing about UConn is they don't do so well against ranked teams on the road. We saw that against Creighton.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and these Big East schools have such great atmospheres. And, I mean, Marquette is at the top of the list, always ranked as that number one toughest atmosphere to play in the country. Fiserv Forum is, I'd say, the best facility in the conference. I haven't been to any of the other ones. I've been outside of Finneran Pavilion, but it's for sure the newest. And, I mean, just the student section is always electric. I've sat in the student section for Marquette Villanova in a ranked matchup, and that was absolutely incredible. Before we get to the game itself, Baylor up on Kansas. I've got that on our second TV here in the Sorgi Stories studios. That could be a major upset for the Bears as they're up 53-48 with 12:33 to go in this one.
Yeah, that would be big for the Big 12 race right there, especially for the seeding and conference tournament.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, for sure.
I'd hate to be on the bad side of the bare necessities, that's for sure.
Yup. Kansas, the team who lost to Marquette this year. I feel like not many people talk about that Maui tournament anymore. But when you look at that, that was an absolutely loaded group with Marquette, Purdue, Tennessee, Kansas, UCLA, Syracuse, and there were two other teams, and I forget which they were. I'd have to go back and look that up. I know one of them was, I think, Chaminade, the local Hawaiian D2 school. But I forget that seventh team. I'm going to look that up right now because I know Marquette played UCLA in the first round before taking on Kansas, beating them, and then losing to Purdue by 2.
Was Tennessee? Did you mention Tennessee or no?
Yeah.
Gonzaga was on there. I know.
Gonzaga, that was the last one. Yeah. I mean, Gonzaga's been interesting this year.
Yeah.
Like, they might not make the tourney, and that would be a rare sight to not see the Bulldogs there, especially as a higher seed. Having that advantage there as a 2 or 3 or 4. But yeah, it is March. I forgot to mention that. It's the month of madness, as people like to say, with only 19 days until the first round of action kicking off. It should be an interesting month, a lot to watch, a lot to look at. And as the game is, I think, in about a couple minutes or so, let's go ahead and look at the comments. Joey Foster says, had to stop in and give my friends a like. What is up, Joey? That was 2.5 hours ago, but if he's here, then hi. And then Jackson, you were in the chat, and then responding to me saying Kolek and Iguodala out for Marquette tonight with that's not good.
Yeah.
Which it isn't. I mean, you're going to have to see a lot of Ben Gold and Cam Jones. I mean, this could be a look at the future of Marquette basketball, because when you look at that big guard relationship between Iguodala and Kolek, I think you might see something like that next year between Ben Gold and either Cam Jones or Chase Ross. As Ross has been the sixth man since Sean Jones went out, and Sean Jones, I mean, he's a crucial part of the first game between these two, but he's out with an ACL injury for the rest of the season. The fastest player in college basketball. It's tough for Marquette.
That ACL sounds like it hurts.
Yeah, and
That's gonna
I'm glad he's been cleared to travel, though. He's for sure been giving a lot of EGBs, as they like to say on the Marquette campus, energy-generating behaviors to that squad, which Tyler Kolek can do today, as he is probably sitting in his dorm room in Milwaukee. I thought I saw him in the Instagram pics traveling with the team, but apparently not. So, yeah, as we see now, Creighton taking the floor. Marquette in the navy blues today. No shock there. Creighton in white. Marquette second in the conference at 13-4. Creighton 12-6. I mean, top 5 seeds are going to get a bye. As I mean, looking at the Big East standings, it looks like Villanova. That win against Providence was huge for them if they want to skip Wednesday and go right to Thursday in a couple of weeks at the Garden. I mean, Jackson, what do you think about this Big East, just the landscape of the conference right now, with how it might shape up heading into MSG?
Well, I mean, after Rip Pitino had his little venting session like last week, I believe, St. John's has just been hauling their rears, especially
Yes,
against
that
Creighton
has.
last Sunday, and what they've been pulling out this week. Who knows what they'll pull out for the rest of regular season and what they'll do
Yeah,
in conference tournament. I mean, I would not be surprised if we saw a Cinderella run in the Big East tournament from St. John's.
it could happen. I'll also say that I could see a Cinderella run from one of many Big East teams in the NCAA tournament. Watch out for Seton Hall. Watch out for Providence. I think they're going to be really fired up after this Villanova loss. If the Johnnies get in there, which I mean, it would take them having to win. I mean, pretty much, right? They'd have to win the entire thing at home. That's good news, is it's at home for them.
Just don't lose to DePaul or Georgetown.
Yeah, that's for sure. As neither have a conference I don't think either have a conference win this year. Maybe Georgetown has one.
DePaul doesn't have one. Georgetown has 2.
Yeah. I thought they had 2, but or maybe not. I don't even know at this point. I know that Georgetown's irrelevant. That's what I can tell you. Because I mean they have just stunk it up this year as we tip here. And yep, as I predicted, the starting 5 for Marquette is Gold, Joplin, Mitchell, Ross, and Jones. Stevie Mitchell starting off with the ball. He's going to pass it to Joplin as my TV freezes. Now it's out to Jones. Freezes again, and he gets a bucket. So Marquette up 2-0. Don't expect that to hold up. If Marquette can pull up if they pull off an upset here, that would be insane going into the UConn game.
I think they can. I think Marquette can get done.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, the UConn game.
I hope they get it done against Creighton. I hope they get done against Creighton, though.
Yeah. As I will say, I loved how Creighton, one Catholic Jesuit school, who is very closely tied with Marquette academically and in just generally the tie between the Jesuit schools, as Jesuit priests actually move from school to school pretty regularly. At the Church of the Jesu in Milwaukee, which is where we went when we lived there on the Marquette campus, one of their main priests was transferred to Creighton a couple years ago. But I loved how when UConn beat Marquette next game, Creighton knocks them off. As one, you could say one Jesuit school helping another there. As it's very interesting how the Big East and the A10, those are two conferences that have a lot of Catholic schools, and I think that's, I mean, you look at, actually speaking of the A10, Loyola last night over Dayton, that was insane. I was
Sister
sitting
Jean has their love.
Yep, I was sitting in a theater in New York City last night at a concert. During the intermission, I had a phone and I was looking at college basketball scores, and I look over at my dad and I said, look at that Dayton Loyola game, and there it was. The upset happened. As I'm a little bit tired. We got home at 2 a.m. last night from New York, so
Man.
a little bit exhausted. Sorgi story will be coming probably. Of our experience in the Big Apple, as 4-2 Creighton leads here, and David Joplin can't tie it up. He just put one up and couldn't get it to fall. So now, I mean, Creighton has a lot of great players. We saw them go to the Elite Eight last year, which was quite the run. I was with a Creighton fan when that run ended, and in my little Sorgi sports desk area that I joined your show from a couple weeks ago, we packed my family and my godmother's family, who her husband went to Creighton. So we were all watching that, and that was a heartbreaker. I mean, just absolutely heartbreaking there. Chase Ross for three, and he says that he's making buckets. He is making big-time buckets. We've seen it the last few games, him clutching up, as Marquette on that homestand had 3 dominant wins over DePaul, Xavier, and Providence. But now Creighton with the ball. I think that's Trey Alexander right there. And now a 3 from somebody on their team. I know like a couple of the Creighton players. Haven't watched that much of them. Do you know any of the guys, Jackson?
A few here and there.
Because I know Baylor Shireman, Trey Alexander, and I think that's it. As a foul there on Ben Gold. So the New Zealander out of the NBA Global Academy in Wellington, New Zealand. He has been quite the sophomore for Marquette. Last year's a freshman and this year's a sophomore. You've seen him improve his game a lot, and he's gotten a lot better. But yeah, also Baylor up 10 now on Kansas, so that's worth noting. That's a major, major upset there in Waco. Your Crimson Tide, they have a pretty big game today, don't they?
I believe so. That they got the Tennessee Volunteers at 7 p.m. tonight.
That's going to be on my TV. I can tell you that. That's going to be quite the matchup. As Cam Jones gets a bucket, so 7-6 Marquette leads. Fast-paced game so far. No real show of long possessions. Creighton had one long possession there. But generally, the offenses are moving pretty quick, not wasting time. Creighton puts up a 3, and it's money. 9-6, the Bluejays lead. But, yeah, it was it's been a great season for Marquette. That's what I take away. Whether Marquette makes a run and heads to Phoenix, which I think they will. Interesting. I think it was last weekend. Yeah, it was the 26th. So it would have been Monday. I did a bracketology and picked my bracket out from that, and I have my Final Four as Houston, Marquette, UConn, and Creighton.
Ooh,
so 3 Big East squads and Houston in there. And I have Marquette beating Houston in the championship, obviously, because Marquette's, just incredible. I love Shaka Smart. I have to say that. Shaka Smart is incredible.
Shakalaka.
Yup. That's the first thing. When I heard that we hired him, I said, boom, shakalaka. As I mean, just the culture he's built. We'll talk about that even more a little bit, but the culture he's built is incredible. As Creighton up 12-9 so far. Ben Gold gets a bucket as he drove there to get it to the hoop. So 12-11, Creighton leads Marquette. And yeah, so now the Blue Jays looking for a bucket. I think they're going to get one right here. That's going to be a foul on Ben Gold. Oh, or no. No, are they going to call travel? Yep, travel. He did the cha-cha. As fun little story, so connecting Nebraska to I mentioned having gone to Marquette Villanova a couple years ago. And the Marquette student section was and this was when Nova, I think, was like ranked 20th, Marquette unranked. And the student section was getting on those Nova players. And every time they traveled, it was, where are you traveling to? Nebraska?
No.
And I let Colin Gillespie hear it. Every time he missed a shot, I was one of the people who was just yelling, "Nice shot, Colin! Keep it up!" And Marquette won that because we're better than Villanova. We just are. Nova cannot win against Marquette. Last 6 games.
Especially called Neptune.
Yeah. And then Marquette knocked off number 1 Villanova at the Bradley Center a few years ago. That's even before Fiserv Forum. And then that ranked win against number 20. So even with Jay Wright, it was tough. And that's under Steve Wojciechowski, who as well as I do, could put together a pretty good season, and then once March hit, had no idea what he was doing, you could say. As Marquette lost to John Morant, that was tough. In the first round, the last 3 tournament appearances, lost to John Morant, lost to North Carolina when they went to the Final Four, and then lost to Tom Izzo. Who Tom Izzo playing at Purdue tonight, or coaching at Purdue tonight. Purdue probably wins that one, right?
Yeah.
But
it will still be like debate whether Michigan State gets in or not. We'll be here in the lobbying session of the Spartans, which, let's be honest, if Michigan State was anybody else, we wouldn't be talking about them.
Oh, yeah. No, it's because Tom Izzo is so great in the tournament. And, I mean, I had going into the game, I'm like, Marquette's a 2 seed. We got him. And then after the game, my dad said, Tom Izzo's only lost 2 games I think it was 2. I think he's only lost 2 games in the second game of a weekend during March Madness. And that turnaround in his scouting is incredible in that short amount of time. As we see the Coles player to watch, shout out to Coles, Wisconsin company, out of Menominee Falls, right down the road from Milwaukee. Last 3 games for Cam Jones, 28.3 points shooting, 67% from the field, and 63% from 3. Granted, that's against pretty bad competition. Not the best of opponents. But this guy is going to go to the NBA. I mean, he's just an absolute beast. As we see, 36% of Marquette's scoring, 40% or 39% of the rebounding, and I didn't see the assist number out today, as we have a shift in personnel. So number 5, who I think that's Trey Norman there in the game for Marquette, tries to guard a 3, and that's going to be an air ball. So good possession for the Golden Eagles. What do we think about Shaka Smart's polo game today? He's got the navy blue and white stripes. I personally am a fan of when he goes baby blue. Just because that is Marquette's color, as Cam Jones gives Marquette the lead 14-12. But Shaka, I love what he talked about. Great podcast. Cam Jones and Shaka, not Shaka, and Stewie, not Stewie, that's his nickname, Stevie Mitchell have a podcast with Marquette Wire 14-14 now. Or no, 15-14 now. Creighton leads. They have a podcast and they had
Cam
Shaka
Jones
Smart.
for the three.
Yup. They had Shaka on. And there's a bucket for K1. Um, and I love it's called the K1 and Stewie Show. And they had Shaka on, and Shaka said how much he appreciated that COVID stopped coaches wearing suits and ties because he ripped his pants one game, jumping up and down and going crazy with his players. And now he gets to be much more comfortable with his much more relaxed, not Rick Pitino like attire on game day, as that's another three for Creighton. They are killing Marquette with three ball so far. 12:30 left here in the first half. They try to trap Cam Jones, and he's going to get it out to Gold. He misses the three. Almost a rebound for Marquette, but Creighton gets under it, and they will take over. As Creighton is just getting buckets 24/7, Jackson, how about we go through and talk a little bit about the Marquette terminology and Shaka Smart's terms, as you all don't see us anymore, but you can still hear us. As let's talk about the Shaka Smart terms, what they mean. I go through this every Marquette game just because I think it's worth explaining. So, starting, deflection goal. 32 is the goal for every single game. Got to get your 32. Marquette earlier in the season was averaging, I want to say, 31 and a half. But I haven't seen a stat since that. That was a while ago. As Creighton now up 20-16 on the Golden Eagles. Cam Jones misses a reverse layup. A kill is 3 stops in a row. Marquette has not had one today. A skunk is 6 stops in a row. Marquette they've had a few of those in the last few games against some lesser competition, you could say. And then a dead skunk, which Marquette has had early in the year. 9 stops in a row. I love that name, Dead Skunk.
I like it.
Yeah. Next, we look at the more fun ones, you could say. Starting with which one is that? I'm blocked. I can't actually see it. So I think that says a domino at the top. Yeah, it does. It's a player who performs actions that give teammates a boost. Just like, when a domino falls, it's creating something. It's creating a reaction. EGB, as I mentioned earlier, is a energy-generating behavior. Good defensive stop there for Marquette. Lost in the fight, doing everything possible to reach a goal while blocking out external noise. Multiple efforts. Put 110% into everything you do. Win anyway. That's what I opened the stream with. Got to win no matter what happens. And then the program's 3 core values: relationships, growth, and victory. And, I mean, the relationships between Shaka and his players are incredible. Something you don't see with most programs. David Joplin, off-balance 3. He makes it, beats the buzzer there of the shot clock. And, well, the last one, the most important one. We are Marquette. That's been said. According to Marquette, according to the Marquette school website, that actually started when Father Jacques Marquette, who the university is named after, said, "I am Marquette," and his followers said, "We are Marquette." So technically Marquette had it before Penn State, as Penn State fans like to claim that they had it first, but not true according to Marquette's website. And Father Jacques Marquette, that's like 1600s, something like that, long time ago. As 22-21, Creighton leads, 9 left. It's been more competitive than I expected, honestly, so far. Marquette really, I mean, multiple efforts in this game for sure, as I mentioned that term a little bit ago. And there, as soon as I say that, Creighton goes up 4. But, yeah, so Jackson, what do you think about this game so far?
It's better than I imagined, because I'm glad that Marquette's doing better than I thought they would, especially with 2 of those guys, Kolick and being out for today. I hope they can come back for Tuesday, or at
Yeah,
least come back for the conference tournament. That would be huge.
I think they'll be back Tuesday. It felt like, especially seeing Kolek stay in Milwaukee, it felt like they just wanted to shut him down for the weekend, and then get him probably back to work on Monday. As Creighton hits a big three, and Marquette, I'm guessing, taking a timeout as we're not quite to the under 8. Next stoppage of play, there will be another timeout, I think. But let's see this Baylor score, as I'm seeing a replay there of a nice bucket from the Bears. It is 70-62 with 5 left in Waco. Do we see a court storming?
No,
That's my. You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But nothing really shocks me at this point. As I mean, Baylor's ranked 15th.
Yep.
And Kansas is 7th. Top 10, but not top 5. I'll ask you, speaking of court stormings, what do you think the next court storming we see? Where do you think it is? I'm going to say Milwaukee on Tuesday.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's my bet, but what do you think?
That I haven't really thought about it. It would have to be somewhere where there's like a huge upset.
Yeah.
I mean, we know it's not happening in St. John's. Let's be real on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Marquette is actually ESPN's BPI, which obviously doesn't play the game, but the computer says Marquette's going to win. That gives me hope, at least. But I'm still skeptical.
Maybe Central Florida can be the next court storming.
Who do they have?
Iowa State on ESPN Plus.
Oh yeah, I heard about. I didn't catch all of your stream, but I was watching bits and pieces of it this morning, and I saw you guys talking about that ESPN Plus game. As I was trying to log into my the YouTube account so I could comment, and then I'm like, oh, I don't have the password, so I can't do that. But I was gonna drop a comment in the middle of a concert. But yeah, so Cody Hankins, not too far from you, Jackson, down south.
Oh wow.
Fellow Alabama fans, and Cody says, "What's up?" As
What's up, Cody?
Cody with the Braves profile picture. Baseball
Here we
season's
go.
right around the corner. It is.
Let's go Braves.
It's nearing. I'm gonna say, go Phillies. Opening day is gonna be fun at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies fans, they really hate the Braves more than any other team but the Mets. And it's pretty funny, honestly. As we're seeing balanced scoring for Creighton, Kalkbrenner, Shireman, Miller, and Alexander all with 6+ points, and all with 2 shots made from the field. Kalkbrenner with 8 points and 4 for 5 from the field. He's been great so far. As we see Greg McDermott there. That's an interesting whiteboard. I see just guys' names on it. I don't know what the other side of it says, but I see guys' names, and then it says something on the other end. But yeah, Bama, Tennessee, huge game tonight.
Yeah, it is.
And if it was, it's not on Rocky Top, is it? It's at Bama.
No,
right?
it's in Tuscaloosa.
Okay. Yeah, if it
But
was at
Tennessee
Rocky
still
Top,
has to prove that they're worthy in March.
yup, that's a thing, and you talked about it more than anybody that I've heard, and it's very, very true that they have to prove it. And the clock has struck midnight. It's March, so first game of the month. It's going to be an interesting one. If it was at Rocky Top, I'd take Tennessee, but in Tuscaloosa, I'm saying Roll Tide roll in that one.
I'm taking Bama either way.
I don't blame you, honestly. Okay, so there we go. Is that going to be a board for Marquette? I think so. 28-23, Stevie Mitchell brings the ball up, and he fights for it, gets it out to Trey Norman, that's Lowry. Yeah, that's a Lowry. And Cam Jones there drives out to Chase Ross, top of the key 3, and it is no good. Rebound for Creighton there as they are up 5. 7:20 to go here in the first half. I was gonna say something on. I forget what I was gonna say. Oh, March Madness. How far do you see these two teams going?
That's a good question. I mean, they'll go farther than Tennessee, that's for sure.
Yeah, every time I look at the bracket, like the bracketology, I'm like, ooh, and that's gonna be an and one for Cam Jones there. 30-25
Nice.
now. Creighton leads. I honestly think that Tennessee, I think they're second round. That's my bet, is that they get knocked out first weekend.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I think these two teams will go further than Tennessee and Purdue.
I actually agree with you there. I think Purdue gets knocked out in the first 3 rounds, I'll say. I think 50-50 chance they make it to the second weekend. But if you can guard the three well against Purdue and just lock down those guards, you're gonna make life really tough for them. Because that 3-headed monster led by Edey, if you knock out 2 of those guys and limit them to under 18 points, you're gonna win that basketball game. And that's just the key against Purdue. Marquette almost did it, losing by 2. If Cam Jones makes that shot at the end of the game at the buzzer, Marquette wins Maui, and is probably ranked number 1 in the country heading into the Wisconsin game.
So I'm looking at the latest bracketology from Joe Lenardi on ESPN, and so far he has Creighton in the South region going against the winner of Dayton, South Florida, but Creighton's playing Charleston. I think if Creighton's going against South Florida, they're in trouble.
Yeah, South Florida is a team to watch as we head into March Madness. Daniel McKeon in the chat saying, hi, what's up, Daniel? And Cody, 67-64, Kentucky leads Arkansas. What network is that game on? Do you know?
They didn't say, but if I had to take a guess, it's going to be on one of the 4 networks, CBS or one of the other 3 Turner networks.
Let's check my guide here and see if it's on. Okay, we're gonna guess CBS. Okay, then let me flip it to my. Oh, okay. Well, I can't watch it then. I don't have my satellite hooked up. We don't get CBS with our Sling, so I took my satellite upstairs to watch. I forget what game it was. Oh, it's the Super Bowl. That's what it was. After the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
Watching the post-game celebration. So I'm going to turn it back to this Kansas Baylor game on the second screen. The other game I saw on my TV was Massachusetts Davidson, as Steph Curry's school takes on the Minutemen. Baylor up 73-65, 3:26 to go. As I see behind Shaka Smart, an absolute legend in Wisconsin, Steve the Homer True, the play-by-play announcer for Marquette. During the DePaul game, he laughed a lot at how bad DePaul was, and then apologized for it afterwards. But I can imagine his producer, Kent Sommerfeld, Cam Jones at the line now, who is also the producer for Marquette. So Kent Sommerfeld, Marquette, and Brewers producer is what I was saying. Cam Jones makes that 4-point game now. But yeah, so Kent Sommerfeld is a producer for Homer and for Bob Uecker. That's a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Getting to do work with the Marquette Learfield Radio Network and the Brewers Radio Network. But I can just imagine him just shaking his head like, stop laughing. Just stop laughing. Please, Homer. But 33-26.
He's nicer than me because I mean, I'd laugh at DePaul for a little bit, but then I'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to be laughing at them. They've suffered enough.
Yeah.
Relegate them to the Conference USA. Put them back there.
Yeah. DePaul is, I mean, they're a struggling program. They finally fired, what's his name? Tony Stubblefield?
Yeah.
And that was overdue. Because he had been their coach for a few years, if I'm remembering right. Stevie Mitchell looks for a bucket, and he gets it 33-31. Marquette cuts the deficit to 2 points with under 6 minutes to go here. 5:45 left in the first half. Marquette 18-10 points in the paint. They're dominating that category thus far. As Creighton looks to get a bucket here, and Shaka Smart just doing this, saying keep your hands up, and that's going to be a bucket for Creighton. Back to a 4-point game. Cam Jones bringing the ball up here. As Cam Jones, by the way, reigning Big East Player of the Week. Shout out to him. And there is Chase Ross missing a three. Or no, that wasn't Chase Ross. I don't know who that was. It's one of the freshmen, I think. I think that's Trey Norman. As there we go. That's going to be a bucket for Creighton. 37-31, back to a 6-point game. Every time I say it's close, Creighton says, nope, it's not. And
I'm keeping my mouth shut for Marquette's sake. I want to see you guys win.
yeah, but here we go. Chase Ross in the corner. Chase Ross is going to be a star. Watching him play when Kolek is out, he is a great point guard. And a missed three there for Marquette. Stevie Mitchell gets the board, though. And that's going to be not a no shot, actually, yet. And Stevie Mitchell saves it there. Almost went out of bounds. But it's going to be a shot clock or out of bounds, something on Marquette. But I thought it was interesting on Marquette Thursdays with Shaka Smart at the Motor Bar and Grill in Milwaukee at the Harley-Davidson Museum. With ESPN College Game Day personality Jen Latta. She does the show with Shaka every Thursday. And they were talking about how if Tyler Kolek was to be out, how Oso Ighodaro would essentially kind of play as a point guard, as he brings the ball up a decent amount and kind of is a great ball handler for Marquette. And so I'm guessing that since Thursday, he's gotten sick because he was not sick before, it would seem like, as it seemed like he was fully healthy. But he's out with some sort of illness. Hope he's okay. I'm guessing at the hotel room in Omaha is where I guess he is right now. I don't see him on the bench. So guessing he stayed at the hotel. Terrible camera work by whoever is sitting by the net at Fox. You just see the floor and somebody's shoes. So I've been pretty close to those Fox camera guys sitting front row student section. They're right there. As is Bo Ellis. He sits right in front of the student section every game in the floor seats right behind the net. And he's always there every single game. And his fashion also still, all these years later, he still has a great, he's always looking good on Marquette game days. And there you go. So that's going to be a bucket, 8-point game. Marquette just looking for something here. This game's not over, though. I don't think this is anywhere near over. As a lead against Marquette heading into halftime is never a safe lead. That's going to be a bucket for Zay Lowry there. Yeah. Number 10 for Marquette. Creighton hits a three, though, and that's going to make it an 8-point game once again. Oh, also, 35 seconds left in this Baylor-Kansas game, and it's a 5-point game. Baylor up 79-74. Possession arrow does go to Kansas. Creighton with the ball. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know that the Bear Necessities are fighting for a top spot. They're fighting for third. They're looking for that top 3 spot.
Yeah.
So it's likely going to be a Baylor victory.
Yeah, it would look like it. As we see 2:26. Did someone take a timeout, or was that the under 4? I think that was the under 4 timeout there. So the last timeout before we hit the break in Omaha. As I guess we can talk about this game in Waco for a minute. As also we have Arkansas up 74-72 on Kentucky. So that's worth note as Rob So Shifty Dillingham might not be so shifty anymore. I love one of the kids in my class always calls him that. If they're watching, hi. Actually, I think he has a football tournament today, but he said he'd be watching. Some of my friends at school were begging for mod status, but they said that I have to pay them to show up. So mods do not get paid here at Sorgi Stories.
But there's other beautiful rewards, I bet.
Yeah. But yeah, Nick the moderator, Nick the legend, is a Tennessee fan. So he will be quite nervous tonight, probably.
I won't be too mean to Tennessee for his sake.
He didn't seem too worried about this game. He seemed more worried about South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina will chew you up like a chicken nugget.
Yeah. And I mean the game because Tennessee won. Let's see. So Lonnie and the Chase. Oh yeah, UConn's winning this. UConn's winning the regular season. But yes, does the regular season matter? Yes. But the Big East tournament is so magical. It's incredible. As we see a rare sight of Notre Dame Fighting Irish gear at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. Two guys with their Notre Dame gear on. Go Irish for Will and for the football expert Reichley, who could not join us today for very different reasons, but both in the same area of the country, both in the Southeast in the Carolinas today. But yeah, so last game, Kolkbrenner had 23 points, shooting 10 for 10 from the field with 6 rebounds. Today, he has 10 points, 5 for 6 from the field, 3 rebounds. So not on pace to hit 23 at this point, as it is 42-34, 82-74, as that's going to be it in Waco. A 3 from Kansas, but it will not matter. The Bears get a big W.
Bare necessities.
Yup. And a lot of high fives and handshakes and hugs on the bench in Waco. As the Baylor student section, one of the students has a big cupcake. They have a huge cupcake, like poster or sign or whatever we want to call it, out there. Cam Jones airballs a 3. Stevie Mitchell with their second chance points. Before we hit the half, I think I have a question for you, Jackson. So you look at these two teams; they both have a lot of possible jerseys to start. What do you think these two teams should be wearing as their jerseys? And you can go unlimited colors, no limit there. My dad would say 4 limit, but I don't care.
Well, I like the little light blue uniforms.
Okay.
So those are pretty cool. But for something for like a little St. Patrick's Day, add a little green to it.
Okay, for which team, Marquette or Creighton?
Both of them.
Okay, so some green for St. Patty's. I like it.
There you go, like a little shamrock.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have jersey concepts for Creighton. Marquette gets a big rebound, but I do have some jersey concepts for Marquette that I'm happy to share. Save Lowry for 3, no good, and we can go through those as we hit the half. Before we do though, I need to go grab my mouse from upstairs. So I will let you ramble on for a minute about some college hoops. As last possession here, 3-second difference between not last possession, 3-second difference between shot and game. Cam Jones picks up the ball, and he is just kind of hanging out. Shot clock down to 8. Tries to make something happen, and he gets fouled with 3 on the clock. So, yeah, 6 seconds left. I'm going to get it pulled up, and then I will go grab my mouse so I can more easily scroll through. But, yeah, so 42-38. It looks like it's going to be heading into the half. Marquette with 3 timeouts remaining and 1 foul. Creighton 4 timeouts remaining and 2 fouls. Marquette usually fouls a lot, but I guess not that many today. So I'll take it. Ben Gold looks to get something up, and he does. Down to 2 points. And that is the half. 42-40. Creighton leads Marquette at the half. And Jackson, take it away for your little college hoops talk for a moment.
Well, we'll start a little bit with Wisconsin, Illinois, as Illinois won 91-83. And I gotta say, Wisconsin has looked very sloppy. They go from being ranked 6th in the nation to start off the month of February to possibly missing the NCAA tournament. Are they gonna miss it? Or are they gonna be? Are they still in? That's the question there. And then we got Arizona smacking around Oregon 63-40 on ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, I was telling everybody a little while ago just now about Wisconsin. I mean, they've had a disastrous slide. I mean, they start off 6th in the nation, and then they're falling apart. They could be missing the NCAA tournament. And maybe that's just me, but does this put Greg Gard on the hot seat, or does he get
Not
fired, or does he get that vote of confidence?
I don't think not quite yet. But yeah, hold on, don't automatically do that. Give me a second. StreamYard, jumping the gun here. Okay, so here we go. So Marquette jersey concepts here. I've got 6 of them. As I think Marquette has 6 good jerseys. Everyone, you can't see us, but you can hear us. I'm starting off with the classic baby blue here. As you can see right here, can you all see my mouse floating around here? I don't know if you can, but Jackson, do you see it floating around?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, so we have right here every Big East team wears that Big East patch that says "Be Changed." The Jumpman logo, the owl at the jersey collar, a little tribute to Al McGuire. The American flag, which is on all Marquette uniforms. The Big East logo, and then we've got the current font going with the gold with navy blue outline. And then you've got the MU here, and then a little touch, the We Are logo. I thought that would be a nice little addition to the jersey. Thoughts, Jackson?
Oh, that jersey looks nice.
I have. Yeah, same. The next one is the championship blue uniform. So this is the color that Marquette had when they won the championship in 1977. So a little bit more of a turquoise look. I'm generally not a fan of the color turquoise, with certain exceptions. This is one of them because of the history. Same patches and everything, but this time going with the white outline, the white MU. Little bit of a change up here. And this could be, I feel like this might be a little bit more of a, maybe on the road in a big game, wear this when the other team's wearing white.
This looks like UCLA's.
It does kind of. Yeah, it does. I could see where you'd say that. Then next, we've got the Doc Rivers era royal blue uni.
Nice.
From the 80s. I had to do it for Doc. An absolute Marquette legend and the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, who beat the Chicago Bulls last night. Shout out Giannis, who is now the all-time winningest Buck in franchise history. Then next, heading to the navy blue. This is your primary road uni. The baby blue font with the gold outline. As you can see, the baby blue MU right here with the gold out here.
Nice.
Really embracing the baby blue in this uniform. Always got to be looking good on the road. And then I have a favorite of Marquette fans, which is the gold. Switching it up a little bit here. So got the baby blue with the navy. Got the gold MU right there. The baby blue Al, Jumpman, Big East, and the We Are, of course, We Are Marquette. And then the last one, which would probably be the least used one, is the white. I feel like Marquette uses white too much, but instead of going with the navy blue font, I went baby blue just to try to embrace that incredible color that Marquette uses. And yeah, so those are the 6 concepts. I give all credit with the exact color codes to the Marquette.com, who I found the colors straight off of their website. I did not go to any other source. I went straight to the website, found all the colors, and yeah. So again, white, gold, navy, royal, championship, and the best, the baby blue. The most beloved among Marquette Golden Eagles fans. I'd say Marquette has the best uniforms in the country. Would you agree there?
Oh, I love them. I love them.
I mean, even the current ones. Now, generally,
I gotta get me a T-shirt or one of those.
I will not give any details yet, but I have a Marquette. I have a Marquette jersey coming in the mail.
Nice.
The only Marquette gear I have right now is a baby blue championship T-shirt from the 70-17 that they did a couple years ago. But I have a baby blue. I'll say it's baby blue. I won't say what player yet, but I have a baby blue jersey coming in the mail pretty soon. I got a pack of Marquette cards in the mail that came in. But I got there's a big, to celebrate Tyler Kolek, there's a big discount on the after he had 18 assists Marquette record a couple against DePaul. They did a big discount on the Marquette NIL store. So it was 18% off of everything. So I got some good discounts on some solid Marquette gear. So I had to order myself a nice jersey and a pack of cards. Pack of cards is pretty cool. What I need to do is take pictures of them and present them as the Marquette starting lineup for the tournament. Because I think that could be a pretty cool look. As StreamYard, did they jump the gun again? Yes, they did. StreamYard's never jumped the gun like this before with me. Getting on my nerves a little bit. Not too bad though. I don't mind. As I'm gonna flip the second TV over to, what is this? Texas, Oklahoma State, 47-43 game. So that
Well,
looks
Kentucky, Arkansas is looking pretty close. I got it on my phone right now.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. So we're gonna switch this graphic over here. I don't know if any of you, Jackson, or in the chat noticed, but last week our graphics were a little bit different because Canva would not let me put any shadows on anything. So, and then all of a sudden I go to make these, and I'm like, oh, it works now. So that's great. But yeah, so here we go. Halftime. How about we go and take a look at the box score? That's what I'm going to look at here. So we can talk over this one. In that game at UCF, Iowa State only favored by 3.5. I thought that would be more.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with it being at Central Florida, so they could pull off some upsets there. I mean, that one game to watch for on ESPN Plus that's going to be a big bubble watch game is Kansas State Cincinnati.
Yes, very much so.
I mean, because let's be honest, if these two schools weren't in the Big 12, I don't even think we'd be discussing them at this very moment.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But
I'll ask you for your. Go ahead.
But another big bubble watch opportunity for Kansas State will be Tuesday night at the Fog at Kansas. And if they sweep Kansas, it'll be the first time since 1983 that it's happened.
Wow. I'll ask you for your thoughts, and then I'll talk about Shaka Smart's thoughts on how apparently, according to some people, allegedly, the Big 12 is trying to get a better tournament resume by scheduling bad opponents so they will have a larger margin of victory. Thoughts?
I hate it when teams schedule bad non-conference opponents on purpose. I know that, someone on Twitter this week was saying, oh, well, it's not okay for the Big 12 to do that, but it's only okay for the SEC to do that with FCS opponents, college football, in the week before rivalry week. I don't think it's okay if you're a blue blood or a conference contender, or if you're trying to make it to the NCAA tournament. If you want to make it to the NCAA tournament, or if you want to make it to the college football playoff, you need to have a tough schedule, tough non-con, tough schedule as a whole. And, and in this climate, you don't need to win your conference. All you got to do is have a tough schedule, have a great strength of victory, and you're good to go. The committee can sit and go, yes, sir, I like it.
Yeah. Quad 1 and Quad 2, that's what I look at. Like, if I'm looking for these, when I'm trying to look at who's going to win, the first thing I look at is going to be those Quad 1 and Quad 2 games. As credit to Marquette for being for having a winning record in every quad this season. I thought that was an interesting stat. As we look at the comment section here, and a fellow Anthony has entered the chat saying Creighton will win Natty. I really just have one thing to say to that, and it's these three words. We are Marquette. We are Marquette. That's what I have to say to that. Creighton is a blue blood. The definition of blue blood is something that I feel like kind of gets you thinking when you think about who is and who isn't a blue blood in football and basketball.
Well, for college basketball, I'm thinking UConn is a blue blood. I mean, that's kind of obvious. Duke, North Carolina, UCLA, Kentucky, Louisville, they're blue bloods. Kansas is a blue blood.
Because, what do we define as a blue blood? A team that was good a long time ago, and like a team that's just been good for a long time. Is that what we that's been at an elite program for a long time?
Yeah, I usually just kind of go by who's been good for the longest of times, who's been really good since the start of the sport.
Yeah, because there are arguments. I could argue that Marquette's been good outside of the 80s and the 90s, right? You can put up that argument. But I wouldn't call Marquette a blue blood. So John says, "Hi, Anthony. What's up, John? Good to see you." And John says, "What is quad 1 and quad 2? There must be 4 quads, right?" Yeah. So split college basketball up into 4 quads. You got quad 1 is the top 4th in the country. Quad 2 is the below that, quad 3 below that. So it's essentially just splitting up the country into 4 different quads and saying by level of teams and net rankings. Ethan in the chat saying, you can't be a blue blood, or you can't be a blood blue if you never won at all.
True.
That's a decent argument. But at the same time, think about this. Do we consider Gonzaga as an elite program? Right, not this year, but generally, we think of Gonzaga as a top. When I think of them as one of the top schools that's always up there, but they've never won. Yeah, Ethan, I know. Yeah, John. Yeah, that's how I break it down when people ask what quads are. It's just quad 1, quad 2. But Gonzaga has never won a national championship. I mean, do we want to call DePaul a blue blood? No. Not actually. DePaul is good a long time ago. I learned that when I went to Wintrust Arena for a Big East women's tournament, and there are a lot of banners from the 80s. That used to be a huge thing, 70s and 80s. Marquette, Notre Dame, and DePaul. Those 3 teams that was a huge kind of 3-way rivalry.
Wow.
And I love Marquette fans, especially those who were around in the 70s. They are so, even though Notre Dame is not that great in basketball, they love playing Notre Dame, and they have been begging for that matchup to return. Thank God it has.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah, it's great to have these 2 playing. Well, if you won it before, either doesn't mean you are one. But yeah, I get, yeah, exactly. I get that. Marquette's won it all, so we're not a blue blood, but Marquette's a respectable program. I mean, Jackson, how do you view Marquette as a program, without being too nice, just as a 100% honest, just overall as a program?
Well, they're not a blue blood, but I think if they were to get a couple of national titles, they can make some more Final Four trips. They can get on the verge of they can be a blue blood. That's what I believe they could be.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. We're back here in Omaha, as I'll very quickly run through the box score. For Marquette, Cam Jones with 15, C.P. Mitchell with 8, David Joplin with 7, Ben Gold with 4, and Chase Ross with 3. Off the bench, Zayd Lowry with 3 points. For Creighton, you've got Shireman with 10, Alexander with 10, Kalkbrenner with 10, Miller with 6, and Ashworth with none, and Farabello with 5 off the bench. Team stats-wise, as Marquette starts off with the ball, Creighton shooting 53.1% from the field, Marquette 48.6%. Cam Jones gets a bucket to tie it up early here. Creighton shooting 50% from 3, Marquette 31.3%. 1 free throw attempt combined throughout this entire game. Marquette's Cam Jones made that. And then rebounds, Creighton winning 17-15. Offensive glass, though, Marquette up 5-4. And then fast break points, Creighton with 5, Marquette with 2. Points in the paint, Marquette winning 26-16. And Creighton's largest lead of 8, Marquette's is 2. Tie game here, 19-15 left to in the second half. Creighton with the ball, and they get an easy bucket to take a 2-point lead.
Gold, baby.
What'd you say? Ben Gold?
I said Ben Gold, baby.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing him with – okay, so to Mitchell. Mitchell misses, rebound Creighton. What do you have your time at?
Oh, I'm at 1906. Where are you at?
I'm at 1840. So I'm about
Oh, you're
20
way
seconds.
ahead of me.
I've got it set up on the live antenna feed. So I'm gonna get it 2 to 3 seconds after it happens.
Oh man, what's the 25-second future looking like 25 seconds from now?
It's a replay of Ben Gold and Ryan Kalkbrenner and how Kalkbrenner got an easy bucket.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Creighton got the lead.
So 44-42, Cam Jones with the ball. Ben Gold thought about a three, didn't take it. Gives it out to David Joplin. Jop looks for a shot out to Gold. He decides not to take another three. Misses the layup guarded by Kalkbrenner. And Egan in here saying, "Hello guys, what is up?"
What's up, Egon?
Yup. What is up? Okay, here we go. Marquette on defense, 44-42. Creighton leads 17:45 left. A three, no good. Hit the front rim. Rebound, Golden Eagles. Chase Ross brings up the ball. Out to Cam Jones, the star shooting guard for Marquette Jr. And he is just kind of running with the ball, trying to figure out what to do with it. Joplin. And Joplin slams it down. 44-all at the CHI Health Center in Omaha.
Show the fighting Mordecai's a thing or two, Golden Eagles. Show those Mordecai's a thing or two.
So 44-all. Creighton with the ball. They look to respond. Can't really find anyone. Marquette almost gets a steal. Can't get it, though. Shireman driving on Joplin. Almost knocked away. And what's the call? Are they going to call a cha-cha? What's the call?
Good question.
Because I don't see anything definite. As I'm just seeing these replays of Joplin slamming it down over Kalkbrenner. I guess it's going to be a foul call. So Creighton will inbound.
That's not good.
Baseline. Out to Alexander.
Oh, what did Chase Ross do to you, man? What did he do to you, Creighton?
And that's a bucket. 46-44. Marquette brings it up. Chase Ross gets no bucket. Maybe a missed foul call. I don't know. They could have called it. And a wide open three for Creighton drained. 49-44.
Got called timeout.
And King in the chat says, "What's up, Sorgi?" Thought I'd let you know that your boy Caleb Williams, who you guys are going to be drafting, if the Bears do decide to draft a quarterback, he's a diehard Packers fan. So hopefully he'll throw a couple interceptions up to the green and gold when the two teams play. And the Marquette bench is happy. I think we got a foul call. So let's go. David Joplin, the pride of Brookfield, Wisconsin, right down the road from Marquette University, not too far. Been to Brookfield Mall a couple times. You know, the old song says, the Bears still suck. That's an old song from the Wisconsin Northwoods.
Man, the Bears have not been looking so good. They're basically the Pooh Bears.
Yeah, but I think Winnie the Pooh is a little bit more likable than the McCaskey family.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Bears need to add some weapons. I don't think the key is trading Justin Fields. I think, honestly, you could fleece. If you're the Bears, you trade the number 1 draft pick to the Commanders, see what you can fleece out of Washington. I mean, it worked for Carolina.
I think about trading Justin Fields to Atlanta, get a top 10 pick. And you could use that to trade for a receiver. You could use that pick for so many different things. As Scotty says, go Golden Eagles. Scotty, ring out a Hoya with an M-U-rah-rah, as they say in Milwaukee. King Pookie, we'll be fine. You guys have been saying that for a long, long time. You guys have been saying, I mean, it's not a terrible idea to keep Fields. I will say, fun fact, Sean Clifford has more playoff snaps than Justin Fields does.
Like, sign Mike Evans to the roster. See if you can take a chance on him.
Okay.
And while you're at it, go and get Brock Bowers in the draft. Make sure you got some O linemen and get a draft steal at running back. Someone like Frank Gore Jr.
Okay, I like it. I'm checking my notifications right now to see if
doing my best as the armchair GM.
Yeah. So, interesting. What was I gonna? Oh, Brian Gutekunst, Packers GM, said that Sean Clifford may be a starting level quarterback in the NFL.
Wow.
He said he's for sure a good number 2, maybe more than that. And I thought that was interesting. I mean, Sean Clifford is one of my favorite Packers for sure. Out of Penn State, not too far from the Sorgi Story Studios in Philadelphia, a couple hours away. But even if Marquette loses this game, back to the game, I really think that that it's still impressive if this game is an under a 5-point loss for Marquette. But yeah, we may, Jackson, I'm not going to say who, but we may have someone joining us in a bit. They said that they may be able to hop on. Don't know if they are, but there's a chance we may have a guest out of the ACC.
Wow.
To give another conference addition to the discussion. David Joplin with 10 points so far. He's at the line, and he is going to get another made one. And there you go. 49-46. Golden Eagles up. Zayd Lowry, freshman, in for Marquette. Chase Ross will sit. Texas up 66-54, by the way, on Oklahoma State in Austin, Texas. Shaka Smart, the former coach at Texas.
Yeah, Kentucky's looking really good against. Yeah, Kentucky's looking good against Arkansas. But if anybody is looking to bet on March Madness, a team you don't bet on is Kentucky because you never know which version you're going to get.
Yeah. Oh, and Cam Jones might be hurt.
Oh, right.
That is not good. He is a little bit of a limp, and that's not something you want to see here. Oh, he's going to stay in the game, though, and the limp is gone. Still doesn't look great. He's still taking it pretty slow. Oh, no, he's speeding up now. Bang goal for 3. Call it money. He is golden. Terrible pun. I had to, though. And guess who it is? Our good buddy Will Indy. What's up, Will? 51-49 lead for Creighton, and they get a bucket. Could have been an and one. Thank God they didn't call that. But yes, let's go Marquette. Will, the Fighting Irish fan, supporting the old rival as that. Bengal misses a 3 rebound. Creighton. But Jackson and I were talking about our old rivalry between Marquette and Notre Dame. But yes, and I will shout out what Jackson just sent me. Will's socials, twitter.com/MarcusEra. And actually, let me pop these up on the screen real quick. And Jackson, can you send me yours too?
Oh, absolutely. I got them right here.
Awesome. Okay, let's do that. We're going to give Will a nice shout out here. There are all of his social medias, so I'll put that up for a few seconds. Anyone who wants to follow him can do that, and I would very much recommend it. And Jackson, thank you for joining us again. Appreciate you being here with us. for this great Big East showdown. And let me add the Y into YouTube there. That I forgot to
Right.
put in. There we go.
All right, it happens.
Okay. Are
Well,
we good now?
thank you for asking me to come on here. It's an honor discussing Marquette basketball, watching along with you, man.
Yup. 57-49 after while I was talking about that, Creighton, I guess, went on a run. But yeah, they're all of Jackson's socials right there. Feel free to go and follow, subscribe, whatever it's called on all of those social media platforms. And Trey Alexander seemed shocked by something. I don't know what happened. Let's see. We're seeing Cam Jones. Did he get hurt again? Brian O'Doherty in the chat saying, "What's up, man?" That's what I was saying is, man, like this game is close without Kolek and so. Oh, Alexander was shocked that Cam Jones is getting a free throw attempt and he misses the first. But for the second, we're gonna do a nice Jones at the line, and he got it. Kolek out with an oblique, no real word on timeline. The fact that he stayed in Milwaukee makes me think that and that's going to be a bucket for Creighton. It really does make me think that, or no, maybe not a bucket for Creighton. Marquette airballs a 3, and it's Creighton ball. I think the fact that he stayed in Milwaukee shows that he is probably just trying to take it slow and rest up for this UConn game. That's my bet. Have a nice slow weekend. Don't do too much, and then Monday try to ramp it back up again. As Marquette has, I'd say 3 NBA, maybe more, but I'd say 3 NBA level players between Kolek, Iguodaro, and Jones. And Jackson, I'll ask you your thoughts on this. Kolek and Iguodaro both have another year of eligibility. Do you think that one or both of them come back just to try to up their game even that much more?
Well, it depends on where they're placed in the draft. That's going to be one of the factors.
I've seen them both as late first round, early second.
Well, that's a toss-up whether they decide they're going to return for next season or if they're going to go to the draft. Be a draft steal for somebody.
I mean, Kolek is that he's a dog. Like his whole face is bloody, and he just comes out and shoots a 3 next play. That's just the kind of player he is. Someone captioned that picture as blood, sweat, but no tears. As he was not quite putting his tears into that play, but probably pretty disappointed that he couldn't go today. And yeah, so 60-50. This game might be getting a little bit out of reach. Not quite over.
Come on.
But yeah, so I'm very quickly going to check my text messages and see if my dad messaged me. Is he home? No, I don't think so. I didn't hear the security thing go off, so I'm guessing he's not home. Let's see. As my messages very slowly load. Slowly but surely here.
Well, it's a good thing Marquette took the time
But,
out. Yeah. I mean, that it's much needed.
Yup. That's very much true. As let's see. Oh, what do we think about Johnny Manziel skipping the Heisman ceremony until that over the Reggie Bush controversy.
I think that's actually pretty cool. It's about time Reggie got his Heisman back. For those that tune into USC football, The Voice College Football, Tim Prangley has been pushing for Reggie to get his Heisman back. And there's a lot of people that are
Yeah.
with Reggie and getting his Heisman back. I mean, I do wonder who's going to be the next Heisman winner to say, "Oh, I stand with Johnny Manziel on this issue." That's going to be my question. Is it going to be Herschel Walker? Is it going to be Steve Spurrier? Is it going to be Mark Ingram? Because I mean, Mark Ingram is a colleague with Reggie Bush at Fox, so maybe
Yes,
we'll see something like that.
Yep.
Maybe Cam Newton. I hope we see something like this. I mean, I want to see like a majority of the Heisman winners go, "Hey, I agree with this guy Johnny Manziel on this. Reggie needs his Heisman back." And what's the Heisman committee gonna do? They're gonna go, hey, I think this is a little getting out of hand. Let's give Reggie Bush his Heisman trophy back.
Yep.
Barney, write the ticket.
Something else getting out of hand is this Texas game. They're up 14 on Oklahoma State with 5 to go. My dad said I did get a message from him just a little bit ago. He is probably going to miss the stream. The rest of it. He has to run out a couple places before he gets home. So he'll be back maybe next weekend. I don't really know. I mean, there's not really much on next weekend, if I'm going to be honest. Marquette's playing Xavier to finish up the Big East season. That's about it. And Scotty talking about Reggie. I'm with Reggie getting it back. I watched him torch his Sun Devil Stadium. He was so fast and faked out his own shoes a couple of times and then went flying in the air. Zave Lowry with the ball for Marquette down 10. And Lowry says, there's a 3 to start the comeback. As the freshman gets a big bucket. Now Creighton with the ball. 12:30 left here in this one. Marquette with 3 timeouts and 3 fouls. Creighton with 3 timeouts and 2 fouls.
Let's go Golden Eagles.
Yup. Shireman tries to get a 3 to go. No good. Marquette fights for the rebound, but a foul on the floor. And that is, I think, going to be on David Joplin. It's either on Joplin or Colkbetter, who dap up after they both get up. No beef between the two. And I think that's going to be on Joplin. As Colkbrenner got caught up between Joplin and Mitchell there. So, no, Marquette ball. Okay, I'll take it. So here we go. Jones out to Jop. He wants the corner 3, can't get it. Drives in and out. That was an easy bucket, and he misses it. But it seems like a foul on the floor. It's going to be on the Golden Eagles. Or no, under 12. Under 12 timeout. Either foul or under 12. I don't know which. But a break here in Omaha. Not looking great for Marquette right now. Not looking great. Didn't come in expecting this to be even nearly this close, as it's a 7-point game. But heading back to look at the box score, Creighton 53.3% from the field to Marquette's 43.8. Creighton 42.9% from 3 to Marquette's 30.4. Free throw percentage, Marquette 80%, Creighton 75. Marquette still winning the offensive glass 5-4. But rebounds wise, on the general glass 26-21, Creighton leads. Assists 12-6 Creighton, steals 3-1 Creighton, blocks 4-3 Creighton, turnovers 5-4 Creighton, points off turnovers, Marquette leads in that 8-7. Fast break points, Creighton 2-9. Points in the paint is tied 28-28, and both teams with 5 fouls. Jackson, I have a very puzzling stat for you. And it's that Marquette leads the conference in points in the paint, but they have the least amount of free throw attempts in the conference.
That's going to hurt you in March.
And that is something that the Marquette players feel that they get a lot of calls that go against them. And that they should get a lot more calls because they lead the conference in points in the paint, but they never get those and ones. And when they probably should. And I thought that was interesting. Shaka talked about that a couple weeks ago. Also, must watch for any college basketball fans on Thursday, especially if Marquette beats UConn. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee and on the Marquette Golden Eagles athletic page. And this is sad. Wisconsin's own Frank Caliendo was at the Creighton Bluejays film session yesterday.
Ooh.
Being just giving the guys a laugh. But Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. If Marquette beats UConn, it will be quite the show. At Motor Barn Grill in Milwaukee, Harley-Davidson Museum, Shaka Smart and Tyler Kolek with Jen Latta this week. That is going to be a must-watch or must-listen for, especially hearing Tyler Kolek, I call him the best guard in the nation. Would you agree, Jackson?
That sounds accurate to me.
Dalton Kennett puts up an argument, but he averages 2 assists a game. So that's why I say that Kolek is better, because Kolek is averaging 8. But yeah, so here we go. Creighton with the ball. CHI Health Center in Omaha. Under 12 minutes to go here with the Blue Jays starting us off. I am Anthony of Sorgi Stories here with Jackson Johnson. Right here, college basketball on Sorgi Stories, Marquette Creighton. If you haven't yet, drop a comment. And if you have, keep dropping the comments. Give us your thoughts on this game, college basketball, sports in general, whatever. As we have a timeout by Creighton before they can even get past midcourt. So Marquette bringing some good pressure to start off the under 12 first possession. Tomorrow, that's going to be a game. Iowa against Ohio State at 12:30. I'm going to have that on tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, yeah, Caitlin Clark going up against Ohio State.
As this is the second to last Saturday of second to last Sunday tomorrow of absolutely no conference tournament games. I think at least of the major conferences, which means so between that, I feel like it's this gap between NFL and conference tournaments that's kind of like on Sundays. But then once you hit the big weekend, as the Big East plays Saturday night though. Saturday night at the Garden, that's always electric. Marquette learned that last year, winning their first Big East tournament. And good steal by Stevie Mitchell. He brings it to the other end and gets a bucket, 5-point game. Don't count the blue and gold out. 5 viewers now as a few more hop in here. Good to see you all. Stevie Mitchell with 10 points and 8 rebounds on the day. Out of Wilson High School in Reading, PA. Jackson, do you know the other famous athlete to go to Wilson High School? Take a guess. Take a guess.
You got me.
Chad Henne went there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I learned that from my computer teacher who went there. And he said that Chad
Nice.
Henne went there. And they had a couple other NFL guys, but no one notable. David Joplin gets a big-time bucket, 3-point game. 10 to go. So, yeah. I thought that was interesting. Two notable athletes to go there. Chad Henne.
The famous backup of Patrick Mahomes and the famous Michigan man.
Yup. And good old Stewie Mitchell. Co-host
Stewie.
of the K1 and Stewie podcast presented by Marquette Wire.
Nice.
But yeah, so funny thing a couple years ago. So Marquette's fight song, as I think you know, Jackson, and as some of you in the chat might know, it's Ring Out a Hoya. So the Marquette Student TV people actually went around and asked, what does Ring Out a Hoya mean? As Kalkbrenner misses a free throw. And I think the best answer they heard was that we're going to ring out those Hoyas. I thought, no, because everyone was like, I don't know. And then someone said, we're going to ring out those Hoyas when we play Georgetown. And I'm like, that's the right answer. I think that's what they were going for. As there we go, 61-57 after a made free throw. Cam Jones trying to get it done. Out to Joplin. Joplin drives, looks for a bucket. He's got it. 2-point game. 9-1 scoring run going over 3 minutes for the Golden Eagles here as they get back on D and try to lock up this Creighton offense and maybe take a lead. Creighton with the ball. They get it into Kalkbrenner, and he gets a bucket. Makes it a 4-point game. Ben Gold is going to start with the ball here. Gives it to Cam Jones. He's going to get it to Joplin. Joplin looks for a guy. Still looking. Has Stevie Mitchell. Mitchell back to Jones. For three. Money from Cam Jones. Bucket Cam. Bucket Fam Cam. There we go. I always get that one mixed up. Bucket Fam Cam Jones. K1 gets the bucket. And here we go. And Kalkbrenner over Joplin there. 3-point game now. Marquette can get a 3 to tie it, 2 to cut it to 1. Gold. Joplin has it now. Joplin drives to to Ross, and it goes into the backcourt. Stevie Mitchell all the way back there, and it is a backcourt violation. Creighton ball. And that was a very much missed opportunity for Marquette. Both teams with 6 turnovers now. So Creighton, ball here. Yeah, got to keep the press up big time rest of the game. 3, in and out. Rebound, Shireman. Foul. Is he going to go to the line? Yeah, he is. And now Marquette just praying for, I guess, at least one miss. It would be nice if it was only a 4-point game. 8:09 to go here. As the Creighton faithful all put their hands up. And he gets it. 4-point game, 8:09 to go. This is a random fact. We were talking about the Marquette fight song. John Philip Sousa, who composed a lot of American patriotic songs, composed a song for Marquette called the Marquette March. So there's your random fact of the day for the blue and gold. Not used as the fight song, and I don't think I've ever heard it in a Marquette game. But I was looking at Bring Out a Hoya one day, and that popped up, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I looked it up and found out some information. Shireman off-balance 3, that's not good. That's the one thing my dad always says, never taking up that an off-balance shot. Stevie Mitchell did not take that advice, and he tried. It didn't work. Creighton with the ball now. They try to trap him in the corner. Can't do it. Open 3. In and out. Rebound, Ben Gold to Cam Jones here. 7:27 left. And Texas beats Oklahoma State 81-65, by the way. Joplin out to Mitchell. Mitchell, the gold, top of the key three. Oh, and it's not going to get down. Creighton rebound. They're going to take it to the other end. Kalkbrenner with gold on, and that's going to be a wide open three for Shireman. In and out. Gold gets a rebound. Marquette's staying in this, Jackson. They are not giving up yet. And the Creighton faithful rise at the CHI Health Center. 67-62. The Blue Jays lead. Cam Jones going to try to quiet them down. He's looking for a pass or a shot. He goes a little bit of a hook shot there and gets it to fall. 3-point game. Creighton with the ball. Cam Jones with 23 points on the day. 9 for 14 shooting from the field. Kalkbrenner, Gold guarding him. Now Mitchell guarding the defender. No, Gold guarding him, actually. They're going to get into Kalkbrenner, and it's going to be a Marquette turnover. Stevie Mitchell slips, recovers, gets it to Lowry, and that could have been dangerous for Marquette. But they recover. Cam Jones with the ball. Jones fakes a shot, gives it to Mitchell. Mitchell to Joplin on the other side of the floor. Jop tries to get Gold to come over. Gives it to Gold. Back to Joplin. Joplin, mid-range, back to Gold. To Joplin again. He's going to shoot a three. And that was almost in, but tipped out from Gold. Back to Joplin. And he's driving. Corner to Gold. Lowry, Jones, Mitchell. And that's going to be a foul on the floor. So Marquette will have the ball after the break. And, man, that was an exciting run there as we go to the break. Man, we're back from this being a 10-point game to a 3-point game, Jackson. Marquette has responded well. And what did I say earlier in the stream? Win anyway. And that is what they're trying to do here in Omaha.
Well, and we're looking at the rest of the Big East standings. And, Marquette is still 2 games behind as of right now. And tomorrow on CBS will be the UConn-Seton Hall matchup on CBS. Seton Hall. I always call them. I always thought they were Seton Hall my whole life. I was like, I thought that's how they said it. It's like.
Seton Hall, named after St. Elizabeth and Seton. Fun fact there. Located just across the river from New York City, where I was last night. As for those of you who are in here, if you saw my dad, my mom, or I's Instagram stuff, then you would know that we were there, having a good time in the Big Apple. Got some good pizza last night. Found a nice little spot. Got some. It's Friday. It was Friday yesterday, so as a Catholic, I couldn't have any meat on the pizza, so that sucked.
Right.
But went with a nice little cheese slice, and that was.
Only 5 more weeks till Easter. 5 more weeks till Easter. 5 more weeks till Good Friday.
Yup, exactly. And I miss in Wisconsin, every single church had a fish fry, so you could go and get yourself some nice sauce, or you go to we did a video at Kegel's Inn. Kegel's Inn has some great Lake Michigan fried walleye. That's really good. But here in Philly, can't find many church fish fries. And Scotty here says, really proud of Marquette. Creighton is an easy place to get blown out, and MU is battling. Exactly. Very, very true. As we're seeing from, I think that was in New York, Tyler Collette, and that was when Marquette beat Xavier. I love how they told the story of when UConn said that MSG is our house, and then Marquette beat them. And said, what? What'd you guys say? But yeah, MSG Big East tournament. I want to get there at some point. to see that
I would
magic.
love to go there. I mean, there's a lot of history in that building. Linsanity, 2009, Syracuse, Connecticut sits
Yep.
overtimes. I mean, let's be honest. I don't know why people get too upset about too many overtimes. I mean,
Uh,
it's like,
that's why I love the college football overtime rules. Is because it can go to 3 overtime. That's why I say that I wish that the NFL did college rules but full field.
yeah.
Like if
But
they
no time limit, or either like no time limit or until the clock ends. Then we go to
yeah,
second overtime,
yeah,
third
exactly.
overtime, also fourth.
Cam Jones for 3. Oh, he almost tied this up. But rebound Marquette. Lowry, the freshman, with the clutch rebound. Joplin. And he is going to get 2 shots at the line for the blue and gold. Not the green and gold. This is not football season anymore.
Yeah.
But it is basketball season. It's March. David Joplin's at the line for Marquette. And Zayd Lowry, man, he is playing a huge role in this game. Joplin at the line for the first. And it's in and out. So Joplin is only going to be able to cut this if he can make this to a 2-point game. He breathes, tries to relax. A very distracting background, but he drains that second. Not as distracting as Marquette having the car dealership inflatables in the student section on National Marquette Day. They need to have those for every game because that is a genius distraction. St. John's was not hitting many threes not many free throws that day. They hit a few threes. Rick Pitino's teams are not too bad. They almost beat Marquette, but great comeback. And here we go, 69-65 after a Creighton bucket. Cam Jones with the ball. 4:45 to go, and that's Farabello off the bench. He's had 7 points today. I think the Brewers, I'm biased, but I think the Brewers win the division.
Yeah, I mean, they'll obviously win the NL Central.
Okay, I mean, I've heard people say the Cubs are going to, but I think the Brewers, with Pat Murphy as manager now, I mean, he is, I don't know if you ever heard Pat Murphy, but he is hysterical. I love him. And that is a 3 for Creighton. It's 72-67. 4:10 to go. But yeah, I think Brewers win the NL Central, maybe win a playoff series.
I hope the Braves get better in the postseason.
The Braves just when they run into the Phillies, they just can't do it. Like that's it. Honestly, that's what it feels like to me, at least. As the Marquette happy about something.
Yeah, because I mean, like the Dodgers, they're kind of more like the Purdue basketball of Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
every time they're in the postseason.
Yeah.
Just don't do it with Shohei Ohtani, man. Don't be blowing it with him.
Yeah, I'll ask you a question. So
right.
Get rid of the fan base because we're talking about kind of comparisons here between sports. Get rid of the fan bases. Tell me what you think about this comparison. I feel like the 76ers are the Cowboys of the NBA. They haven't gone to a championship in decades.
Right.
And they can't really get far in the playoffs.
I think the Sixers and the Nets kind of share that comparison in a way, more so the Nets, because that's all we hear about are the New York Nets this, New York Nets that. Okay, well, what have the New York Nets done? They haven't done anything. And same with the Cowboys. No offense, Cowboys fans, because I mean they haven't gone past the divisional round in who knows how long. Not in the 21st century. And they're not going to. They got smacked around by Jordan Love and the Packers in their own backyard.
Jordan Love, by the way, who, including playoffs, led the NFL in touchdowns. Shout out Jay Love.
Yeah, he brought out the belt and gave that Cowboys defense a spanking.
He is an absolute beast. I mean, he's top 5 in MVP odds for this upcoming season. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he is incredible. Packers quarterback strategy. Thank Tom Clements. He developed Aaron Rodgers. He developed Jordan Love now. The quarterback whisperer, as I like to call him.
I swear that is the most stable job in America. The Iowa football head coaching job, the Steelers head coaching job, and being the Packers starting quarterback.
Yup.
Because you ask any casual fan, they can't tell you who the quarterbacks were before Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, or Jordan Love for that matter. You just can't get an answer out of them.
Yup. Magic Man. You got Bart Starr.
Yeah.
Arnie Herber back in the 30s and 40s. You got to
early
go
Lambeau era.
But yeah, my dad could name all the quarterbacks, but he's not here right now. So,
but yeah, like right now, like for now, I'm gonna go with the Lions to win the NFC for now. I mean, anything can change, but I'll take a chance with them because I mean, I can't quite put my finger on it, but they look like a Super Bowl team.
They do, yeah, they do. I love what the Packers GM Brian Gutekunst threw a little shot at the Lions. The Lions put up their NFC North banner and were like, and they said like got a new banner up on Twitter or something. I mean, Brian Gutekunst at a press conference at the Combine says, "We don't put division championship banners up. We look for bigger things."
There you go.
And I was like, that sounds like the Packers, 13-time champions. As it says at Lambeau Field, 4 Super Bowl, 9 NFL championships.
What's going to happen with Aaron Jones? That's what I'm wondering with him.
They're in discussions about restructuring of the deal to be more team-friendly for the last year of the contract. So that's good. AJ Dillon not expected to return back.
I guess Mr. Dillon won't be back in Green Bay.
I think the Packers are going to draft Braylon Allen out of Wisconsin.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. As we're back, David Joplin gets it out to Jones, who saves it, and that's going to be tipped. Creighton with the ball. And it's going to be Creighton, what's it called? Jump? I don't know what they call it, but I think Creighton has it either way because they have the possession arrow. As next on Fox, watch Messi play some team that no one's ever heard of, a.k.a. Orlando City SC.
I think I'll wait for Bama, Tennessee, Purdue, Michigan State. Thank you, Fox.
Yup. I mean, I like Messi, but I don't like. That's about it. I don't mind soccer. I'm excited for the 2026 World Cup right here in Philly. There's going to be a game on July 4th here in Philly.
Oh, nice.
Team USA better be in it. It's a knockout, so we don't know where they'll be put, but it would be incredible if Team USA was playing in a knockout stage game on America's 250th birthday.
Nice.
In Philly. It would be incredible. As also in 2026, Philly's holding the MLB All-Star Game. So a lot of fanfare to celebrate 250 years of America.
Nice. 250 years. We're getting closer.
Yup, 2 years away. Almost. So here we go. Shireman to Alexander here. 3:30 left.
Bring out the gold. I hope gold can bring out the gold rush.
Well, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. 8-point game. Mitchell drives, brings it down to 6. Keeping Marquette in the 75-69. Creighton leads. Both teams in the bonus. Marquette with 2 timeouts. Creighton with 1. Both teams with 6 fouls. Stevie Mitchell, 12 points, 9 rebounds. He's been a beast today. Shireman wide open 3. Call it money. It's a 9-point game. Cam Jones out to goal, and it's going to be a foul on Creighton. Looks like this one is about over. Maybe. I mean, miracles are possible.
Yeah. Well, oh man.
But it doesn't feel likely at this point.
Maybe Marquette can somehow get some of that Penn State magic.
Marquette needs to talk to Penn State and learn how to beat Wisconsin because we have zero idea how to do that under Shaka Smart.
Yeah.
But Penn State's upset over Wisconsin was awesome to see. Like, I'm not a Wisconsin hater, but I like a good upset.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that Penn State Illinois game, now that was the game that basically kept my eye going on it.
Shinerman, same spot, and he says, well, 81-69 now.
Oh, no. Maybe Marquette can get 4 3-pointers in a row placing defense. Come on.
A 12-2 run.
Don't do don't do this. No.
Heartbreak for the Golden Eagles in Omaha. And now at this point, I guess it's like just make the score look a little bit better. That's what I'm trying to do. Just make it look a little bit better. And Creighton has their largest lead with 2:14 left. And it's going to take a literal miracle for Marquette to win this thing. Meanwhile, in Auburn, the Tigers up 18-7 on Mississippi State with 12:30 to go in the first there.
I don't want to call it early about Mississippi State, but do you think that Kentucky loss is dragging them down a little bit?
Maybe. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, I think it is. Oh, man.
With USC Washington, I think that game should be on like Nickelodeon instead of CBS. Just have like SpongeBob and Patrick call the game. Just be like, "Hey, we know that we're using you for the Super Bowl and all and Christmas Day, but want to go call USC Washington?"
I think that would be slightly more entertaining in football with Caleb Williams than in basketball.
Well, how about we give like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network the cupcake games and like Disney like the cupcake games? You want to play your little cupcake game? Fine, but you're gonna air it on these channels.
Yeah.
You say you didn't want it on ESPN Plus. You didn't say where it had to be on.
Stevie Mitchell gets the call.
Let's go.
So he'll head to the line for a 1-1. Yep, 1-1 here. 5 of you in the chat. Make sure to keep dropping comments, questions, concerns, whatever. Mitchell at the line. And he gets it. So he will go for a second. Get some high fives, a.k.a. EGBs, energy-generating behaviors from his teammates. Mitchell for the second. In and out. Rebound, Creighton. If Marquette could have gotten that rebound, that would have been huge. But Alexander's going to bring it up. Gets to midcourt. Mitchell guarding him well. Also, Stevie Mitchell for Big East Defensive Player of the Year. I need to put that on socials. Spread the word, as the Marquette social media pages have been asking people to do, to get some buzz surrounding him. That's going to be a foul on Marquette with 1:41 to go. Creighton up 11. It looks like this is going to be looked back on as a collapse for a Marquette team without their two best players. Because Marquette had this thing, I mean, almost in their grip, and then they just completely lost it. I mean, just almost had it. And Creighton goes on a run. They're up 12 now. For the second now of a 1-1, trying to make it a 13-point game. Trey Alexander up the line. The second is up, or not up yet. It's now up, and it is good. Excuse me for 1 second, Jackson.
Alrighty. Well, as of now, Creighton is still leading 82-70. Well, I mean, 25 seconds behind. But 83-70. Raggy. But we see Davidson and UMass in a dogfight. Now we know that UMass is leaving for the MAC full time starting in 2025. Question is, what does this mean for UConn? And does that mean they're leaving the Big East? Or do they stay in the Big East for other
What did you
sports?
say about the MAC?
UMass, they're leading Davidson right now, but I was talking a little while ago just now about how UMass is leaving for the MAC starting next year. And what does this mean for UConn? Like, I mean, we know they're going to go to another conference in football, but does that mean they're going to stay in the Big East for basketball and other sports? I wonder what's the plan here, because, I mean, you can't put UConn in the MAC for all sports.
Joplin with a late 3 to cut it down to 12. Marquette just trying to do something. Foul on Marquette.
Reggie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question, but because UConn wasn't the American, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they went.
Yup. Which, if anything, leaving the American was the best thing for him, really.
Yeah. Alexander at the line to make it a 13-point game. And Stevie Mitchell's just standing there like, let's get done with this crap. As on, I think it's senior day. Yeah, senior day at Creighton. A whiteout. And they are going to get a win over number 5, Marquette. 30 to go. Stevie Mitchell drives. Blocked. Kalkbrenner there.
Like, I mean, Marquette's going to be out of... I know Marquette won't be in the top 5 on Monday, but will they still be in the top 10, Anthony?
Yeah. There's no... I mean, can you make an argument that says they shouldn't be?
Right? I mean, it's just like...
I mean, if you lose by 14 to a top 12 team in the country, like, I get that. Here's the question I'll ask you, Jackson. Is so for Marquette, you just take away we played pretty well considering we're talking about a top 12 matchup against or without our 2 best players. But if you're Creighton, what do you take away from this? Like, you can't be that excited because you didn't.
No.
You didn't win against you. Like, Marquette's missing their 2 best guys. But
yeah,
like, what can you take away?
Not a whole lot.
Like the fans seem excited, but they don't seem overly ecstatic.
No. I'm just curious to see what's going to happen for Creighton when they have a rematch with Marquette in the Big East tournament.
Yup. That's your final, folks. 89 for Creighton. Marquette 75. The Golden Eagles are actually dropping to 22-7. Creighton now 22-8. Marquette 13-5 in the conference. Creighton 13-6. So, yep, let me just update those records really quick. Okay. There we go. So, that will do it for us here today. Jackson, go ahead and talk about what you do on all your socials.
Well, on YouTube, I'm 200 subs away from getting to the magic number 500 right here on Jackson
It
Johnson
hit
979.
500.
Where I not only co-host the college basketball recap preview show with Will and D, but I also do some college football stuff with Sports Talk with Austin, and I host a show called The Jacksonian, which is available right here on YouTube and on Twitter/X at Jackson09960335. There's
Right
some
there.
episodes released on Threads as well, where not
Okay.
only do I have my episodes on YouTube, Twitter, but I also make some of my biggest announcements on who's going to be on the latest episode, the Jacksonian, right here on Twitter, Jackson09960335, and on Instagram and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543908, where I not only give updates on who's on the Jacksonian and what's going on there, and college basketball recap preview show, but I also just kind of run my mouth about what's going on in the sports world and what's going on in the non-sports world.
Yep. Thank you for joining us. Make sure that you go follow, subscribe, all of that to Jackson with all of that great content he just talked about. For Sorgi Stories, just linktree.com/Sorgi Stories has everything for us. That'll do for us. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell. Ding, ding, ding for both of us. Thank you all for watching. And for Jackson and for my dad, who is currently in a car on the way home, I'm Anthony. Thank you all, and we are Marquette.